Hello, my friends. Welcome to another Sunday. Hallelujah. Today is the day of Pentecost. Did you know that? Wow. It's a big day. Alex, you want to turn that on? It's a huge day today. And I'll tell you why. 50 days after Easter, we as Christians, we celebrate this thing called Pentecost, which simply means the Holy Spirit descended on the 12 disciples and basically gave them these gifts, these blessings. As you know, we have the Trinity, which is called, that's the Father, that's, God who created the world. Then we have Jesus who descended down and took the form of man to forgive our sins. And then you have the Holy Spirit. So after Jesus ascended into heaven, he died, and then he ascended into heaven the third day. And basically he gave us the Holy Spirit 50 days after he left. And I'll tell you, I hear a lot of discussions about, the Pentecostals and, the Baptists and the Methodists. People argue about, should you be speaking in tongues? Is that what the Spirit, should you be able to heal people? Is that, how do you tell when people have the Spirit? I mean, when you go about your day-to-day, your loved ones, your wives, your husbands, your children, your friends, your parents, your colleagues, how do you know that person has the Holy Spirit? Because they speak in tongues? Well, maybe not. Because guess what? There are 9 fruits of the Spirit we're going to share today. Before we jump into a very, very interesting topic, love. The people around you love, which is actually the greatest gift. There's a good chance they have the Spirit. Now, they don't have to have the Spirit to love, but they have to love in order to have the Spirit. So, joy, just being that deep sense of happiness, even when things are good and things are bad, you're just happy. You just find that guy. I have a friend of mine, he's always smiling. How are you going to be smiling when things are so bad? It's because he has joy, and it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. He's filled. Peace. You have those people who are gentle, they're easygoing. They don't want any, stress. They're just very peaceful. They're not looking for drama. Drama is not good. Drama is the opposite of the Holy Spirit. Patience. Those ones who are very patient. You make a mistake, they give you another chance, give you another chance. So how you give me so many chances? Because that person may have the fruit of the Spirit. Kindness. You ever meet those people who are kind? I saw this guy the other day. He was walking around handing homeless people money. I found this guy who had he built a little he set up a place for homeless people to live. They can never pay him back, but guess what? That's just being kind. Goodness. When you're just a generally good person who just gives of yourself. Faithfulness. Not cheating, not lying, not bearing false witness, not doing all those things that are averse to the Spirit. Faithfulness is very, very important. Gentleness. You ever see those people who are like easygoing and they're gentle and they don't have a lot of stress, a lot of issues, a lot of hassles? Gentleness and self-control. This is one we all struggle with. All of us struggle with. I know me. Sometimes I get angry. I get a little bit upset. Sometimes, and it's the Spirit that draws you back. Those are the 9 gifts of the Spirit. And that's how you can tell that you have the gift of the Spirit, or that somebody has the gift of the Spirit, because you can tell by the fruits of what they give out, not by the tongue. Tongues are good. Healing is good and all those things, but those are the 9 fruits of the Spirit. So let's see wow, I got my crew on here. Okay, Tina, as always. Hey, Darlene is here. I love it. I didn't see Darlene last week, so I don't know what happened. Celia, hey, you got a question for me? Okay. Hey, don't forget. You can always send me questions. I answer questions. Dave's Wealth Lessons at gmail.com. Dave's Wealth lessons@gmail.com. You can always send me questions and I'll always answer your questions, either here or there. And by the way, you can always send me video questions. Take your phone, tape yourself, and send it over to me. And who knows, maybe next week I may have you on. I may show you a face, because next week we're going to be doing Q&A. I'll get to that in a second. Let's see who. Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly. It's good to see you. Melva. It's a pleasure, Melva. Henry, my man Henry is always here. I love it. Are we okay? So let's see. I'm still connecting a few things over here, back and forth. We have, hey, I see my Instagram friends over there. Hi, hey guys, good to see you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for joining. I love it. This show is on Facebook, and it's live on Facebook, and it's live on YouTube. So thank you, my friends on Instagram, for joining. Always don't ever forget that you're kind of far away, so I can't really see you, and I can't interact with you. But if you go to YouTube, just go to the YouTube page, David Adefeso, just type in my name, or type in Wealth Demystified, and I'm right there. And then I can see you, I can interact with you. I can interact with Kimberly over here, and Henry over here, and Celia over here, and Darlene over here, and Mr. Gary, and Katie, and wow, we have a lot of people. Tina, wow, we have quite a few people, and I guess it's because of the topic that we're covering today. So for those of you who are on Instagram, please feel free to go to YouTube. I can see you, I can ask you questions, and I can interact with you. And don't forget to hit that unsubscribe button. That's subscribe, not unsubscribe. You don't want to unsubscribe to me. Hit the subscribe button, okay? Unsubscribe. What? Anyway, today we're going to talk about something that it's sort of a trifecta over the last 3 weeks. Now, let me tell you what I've been doing with you and why I do these lessons. I just want to remind you again, it's in order for you to be the best that you can economically. I work with, a lot of you know my background. I have a Harvard MBA. I worked on Wall Street. I made, quite a little bit of money, and I left, set up my own wealth management firm, grew the business all around the country, in New York, in Dallas, in LA, and decided, you know what? Now I want to do good. So I set up a company. Now, actually, this is the first time I'm wearing my T-shirt. My Suchi T-shirt. Suchi is sort of the next phase for David. And that's where I want to heal the aches and the pains and the hurt of 94 million people who have student debt or will have student debt over the next 18 years. A big part of them are the 3 million kids, our kids, Black kids, who are in underserved neighborhoods. So my goal now, my next mission, I've made money. I've had, I've worked with millionaires and billionaires, and I've had a really good run in my life, that now it's my turn to give back. And I want to do it in a really significant way to heal the aches and pains that come with not being able to attend college, and making sure kids can afford college, because college holds us back. The inability to go to college or trade school, or the money to go to FIT fashion school, or the inability to have the resources to fund and educate your masters. Some of those things hold us back, and it's particularly prevalent with lower income. And so we're here to address that problem, not just for poor people. We work with everybody. Rich people need help too sometimes, but poor people need more help. The underserved, need more help. So Suchi, it's my first T-shirt. It's actually embroidered. It's not, they didn't just plaster it on there. They actually sewed it on some kind of cool stuff. So I do this show because I want to help lift you from wherever you are. If you feel you got to make more money, you want to be happier on your job, you want to have more flexibility, you want to have more time to spend with your family. If you want to do something more for yourself economically, I can help. And so that's why I do this show. And it's the second season. This is season 12. This is season 2. And this is episode 12. Can you imagine? We've been doing this for 12 episodes in this last season. And the season before, I think we had like 16 episodes. I mean, I've been giving you a lot of good stuff. You got to admit, right? So today, up to today, I've taught you sort of the basics. You need to have a foundation, right? I've taught you the basics. What do you need to have to start the process of becoming financially free, or becoming financially, secure, or becoming happier, of knowing you're more in control of your finances, that your ability to be able to travel around the world on a 1-month-long vacation and come back and you didn't lose any income, so your ability to build sleep money, to build passive income, all the ways that you can uplift yourself from wherever you are. I taught you the very basics. Credit, you got to have good credit. You have to have a buffer, an emergency fund. You have to have a good bank that'll work with you. Then I taught you how to pay off your debt, primarily the one I hate the most, which is student debt, and which I'm trying to eliminate. I taught you all the ways to get grants and awards and all those things to pay off your debt. And then I started the process of sort of rising above the fundamentals. Now that you've paid off, a lot of your debt, now that you have an emergency fund, now that your credit is good and you've picked a great bank that gives you interest and doesn't charge you all those fees, now you can start the process of becoming financially free. So I started 2 sessions ago of teaching you how to set up your own business. Many people strive to set up their own business. 75 or 80% of the employees in America are hired by small businesses. If you want to set up it doesn't matter what it is, real estate, hairstylist, fashion institute, financial advisor, whatever you want to do, there's ways for you to, a roadmap for you to actually do it. So 3 weeks ago, I taught you how to, I think 2 weeks ago, I showed you all the types of businesses you could start. I hope you picked one of those. If you didn't, go back and watch it. Last week, I showed you all the ABCs, how to start a business. I showed you how to basically incorporate your business, where to incorporate your business, how to hire employees, where to hire employees from, the ABCs of writing a business plan, the basics of setting up a business, the very registering your business, getting with the IRS, with getting licenses to do your business. I showed you all those things. Well, today is the trifecta, the last of the trifecta, and it's the most important. I don't care if you picked a great business. I don't care if you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's. If you don't have the money, how are you going to start a business? If you don't have the money to finance and fund your business, how do you operate? I've established 2 businesses. One is a startup, that's Suchi. And we're financing, and we didn't take outside financing besides myself and my friends and family. We might in a few months, but not yet. We don't want it yet. We rejected it yet. Lots of people want to give us money. We said, no, not yet. Let's wait for 4 months or 3 to 4 months to get where we need to go. But many people are not in that situation. My first business, which is highly successful with my wealth management firm, I didn't really need capital because it didn't require a lot of capital. And I also actually had some of my own capital, which I kind of used. It didn't require outside capital, but many people are not in that situation. Many of you need capital, right? You need money to set up that business so you can launch yourself into the next phase of your life, which is a happier, more fulfilled, more flexible, richer, I know you're hopefully richer man or woman. And then you can start your kids in the process of the same way. Hopefully one day they can, be, where you are and even greater. So today we're wrapping up the final part, and we're talking about the best ways to fund your business. Are you ready? Y'all ready? Okay, I see. Okay, wow, we have a lot of people here. Keisha, hey Keisha. Melva, okay. Simmons, what's going on? Okay, I'll get back to you in a second. I see quite a few questions over here. Okay, now there are multiple ways to fund your business, right? Multiple ways, and I'm going to go pretty fast because I'm shocked that I still hear people saying, I don't know where I'm going to get money to start a business. I'm shocked when I hear that. And I get this question, David, I have a great idea. Where do I get the financing? There is financing everywhere. There is so much money. Some of it is free. Some of it is cheap. Some's pretty pricey. Today, I'm going to give you all those places to go to. So I hope it's not a long session. I hope today is not long because I have so many, many amazing things for you to actually grasp onto. I'm going to start with savings. I'm going to talk about credit cards. I'm going to talk borrowing money from your friends and family. I'm going to talk about SBA, Small Business Administration loans. I'm going to talk about using angel investors, not the one that comes down from the sky, but it's kind of close because they give you a lifeline. Crowdfunding, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about business loans and lines of credit. You can get business loans or a line of credit. Factoring, borrowing on your inventory or your accounts receivables. And then the last part is grants. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, I'm going to show you how and where to get free money for your business. I'm going to do it last, so you better stick around. It's called free money to start your business, operate your business. Doesn't matter what phase of the business you are. There is so much free money available. If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a minority, if you're from another, if you're a foreigner, there's so many, many different places for you to get money. Again, I'm going to talk about grants, free money to start and grow your business last. So let's start. Let's jump in. The first way that most people use, this is the way I used for both my businesses. The first one, the Pacific Group, thepacificgroup.com. It's a wealth management firm. We do insurance, we do wealth management, we give advice, financial planning, we do estate, planning. And I work with some very wealthy people. And a lot of those people, I help them grow their wealth, which is why I'm talking to you now, because I have a proven model. I know how to do it. I've done it for myself. I've done it for a lot of clients. Now I'm doing it for you to help you rise above and be more successful. So the first and easiest way, if you have it, is the way I used, and that's called savings. Using your personal savings or your CDs or your money market accounts or your checking accounts or your savings account. The benefit is you don't go into debt. It limits the cash outflow that you have to pay for like things like interest payments if you take on a loan. Now, it could be risky to your personal finances. If the business doesn't work out and you spent all your savings, yikes, you got to rebuild. Depending on the amount of your savings, it'll only get you so far before you start needing to raise money somewhere else. Unless you have that kind of business that grows really, like my first kind of business, I never really took out loans because it grew really fast, the wealth management firm, and I had enough funding to keep it going. But some people who use their savings, they use it as a backstop to start, and then later on you can go. So it's a way to actually start to prove your business model. While not recommended, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, you can also use things like your retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, 403bs, and things like that. We do not recommend those. And the reason why is because, you got to be worried about taxes. You got to be worried about penalties if you don't pay after-tax dollars, the long-term effects of, investing using long-term money right now in the short term. You got to be concerned about that. But if that's what you got, if you have a great idea and all you have is your 401k and you need to establish that business and it's your calling, I can't ask you not to do that. So that's another option. Okay. The cash is, however, limited with savings because how much can you save? Maybe you can save, a little bit, for you, but is that going to be enough to get your business going? Maybe. Number 2 is credit cards. That's another way a lot of people use. For a lot of people who don't have access to business loans, who don't have savings, you can use your credit card. It's right there. It's there to help you. It's a quick and easy way to get access to credit to pay your bills. You can pay the balance down over time, so you don't have to pay it off every month. If you don't have, that's what we recommend. But if you can't do it, it's a business, right? Your business is going to be generating money. You can use that money. The credit card expense is high, so you got to be making a lot of money in your business. But if that's what you have, you can pay it out over time and pay the interest. You can also benefit from things like cashback, points, travel rewards, access to services like traveler's checks. You have stuff that's also there that's important that you can use with a credit card. Make sure to use a separate credit card from your personal and your business. So if you have a business, your personal card should not be the same. And the reason why is because that business card is what's going to help you track your expenses in order for you to do your accounting, like income and expenses equals profit. You have to do that every year, right? As a real business. And it also helps you to file your taxes, right? Because when you make money, you have to deduct your expenses. Even if you don't make money, if it's a business expense, you have to deduct it. So for example, if you go to dinner with your spouse or with your husband or your wife or the kids, that's not tax deductible. But if you go to dinner or you go to a sports game and you pay for Laker tickets or New York Knicks tickets or Dallas Mavericks tickets, and you pay for tickets and you take a client and you have food over there, that is partly tax deductible, just so you know. So you have to make sure this expense is on a credit card that's separate from this, so you can adjust them when the time comes. Also, there's this thing called piercing the corporate veil. What that means is, remember last week we talked about incorporating a business, and a big part of why you incorporate is because of limited liability. That means you are protected from the debts of the company if you operate it properly. Well, if you have one credit card or one bank account, personal and business, and you're moving money in and out of the business and personal, if a creditor ever comes and sues you, a judge might say, you know what? You treated the business as yourself, so we're going to pierce the corporate veil, which means we're not going to protect you. That's not good. So make sure your credit card is different for the business and personal. Now, you got to pay attention to certain things when you get a credit card, right? Introductory rates, APRs. Pay attention to the APR on the purchases and balance transfers. Pay attention to annual fees. We do not like fees here at the Pacific Group, at Wealth Demystified, and the Pacific Group too. We do not like a lot of fees, low fees, low fees. Rewards programs, it's all kinds of things you can take advantage of. I maximize my rewards on my business credit card. I use travel points, cashback, shopping protections, warranties. I use it as much as I can. When I rent a car, I don't buy insurance. Why would I buy insurance from the insurance company? That's highway robbery. I use my American Express insurance. They have insurance. If somebody ever hits me, first of all, my Amica insurance is going to pay for it. That's the one I already paid for. And then American Express acts as a backup. I don't buy the insurance in the car rental. Do not buy insurance with the car rental company. It's too expensive. What are the chances you have an accident anyway? So for small business owners, your personal credit will affect your ability to get a credit card. So holding on to high balances on your personal credit card will affect your ability to get credit for your business. So keep that in mind. Also, your credit score and all that really affects whether or not you're able to get a credit card for your business and the terms. Avoid taking out cash advances from your credit card, my friends. Don't take out cash advances. Use your credit card for financing. So charge for financing, not for cash needs. You don't want to do that. The cash, when you take money out, the rates are exorbitant. Remember, we don't like fees. So don't use your business credit card for cash needs. Use it just for financing. Number 3. So we've talked about savings. We've talked about credit cards, friends and family. This is one of the most amazing ways to raise money. When I started my second company, Suchi, I put in, a couple $1 million, and I decided, you know what? Instead of going to professional investors like venture capitalists, let me go to my friends and family. I was shocked. Pretty much everybody I talked to, my friends, I didn't realize how much trust they had in me. How much was the check? They asked me. $50,000. One wrote $250,000. One wrote $200,000. My mom gave $5,000 into my business, Suchi. She gave us $5,000 as a friends and family round. We raised $910,000 in a space of like 5 days because I just made a few calls to my friends and family. So maybe you can raise that. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can raise 90,000. Maybe you can raise 500,000. You don't know until you call your friends and family and ask them if they want to be invest in your business, right? So it's a great way. They can also gift you. My mom, I insisted that it was part of the equity. So I'm going to pay her back once the business starts doing really well. It's a startup, so we're still growing it. I'm going to pay her back, as she's a shareholder, so she's going to make money as the business does well. But some of your family may not want the money back, like your dad or your mom or your uncle or your sister who's already rich. They might just want to gift it to you, maybe give you a gift. Now, be careful about gifting though, because after you gift over $15,000 per year, there's certain gift tax issues, or if you receive the gift over 15 to them. So make sure to consult with your financial advisor and your CPA. Always make sure to consult with your financial advisor or CPA anyway, because the advice I give you is general. It's not specific. I don't know you. You're not in front of me. And so I can't tailor it for you. So you always make sure you do your research. If you have an advisor, consult them. If you have a CPA, consult them. All right. Be cautious though about how you manage, about how you're taking money from a family or friend could affect your relationship with them. If you can't pay the money back, well, that may create some conflict. So before you take the loan from them, always, or the equity, whatever it is, always be cognizant of that to make sure that, this is not, or you don't want that sort of money issue between family and friends. So which are the ways to take out loans? This one is usually the biggest. The one I'm about to tell you about now is called SBA loans, Small Business Administration loans. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put, at the end of this, you don't have to take notes. I want you to listen, right? And you can always come back. At the end of this, I'm going to give you a list of resources, like links, right, that you can go to. Right. And you can, you can kind of click on and you can go to these places that I'm going to show you. But I'm also, if you go to my Instagram, also david.adifeso, I'm also going to include a link to all those, all the resources we're talking about. And in the next, sometime this week, I'm going to launch davidadifeso.com. That's my own webpage. And again, all these resources, I just, I want you to listen and engage with me. Not take notes or try to tape it or so you can always access those resources later on. So SBA loans, Small Business Administration loans from the federal government is a thing of beauty. They've opened up the books. The government doesn't make loans directly though to you. They usually make those through qualified lenders under this USBA program, U.S. Small Business Administration programs. The loans are business friendly, right? They have lower interest because the government guarantees those loans. So the interest rate is a little bit lower than with regular loans compared to traditional banks. The loans could be fixed or variable, and they could be negotiated. You can actually negotiate between, with the lender, and the loans can vary. There are 8 amazing SBA loan programs that you can qualify for. Are you there? There are 8 different amazing SBA programs you qualify for. I'm going to list them just so you have them. And again, I'm going to give you the resources later on, but just all these SBA loans, just go to sba.gov. If you go to sba.gov, you can find all these things. That's smallbusinessadministration.gov. The first one of the 8 is called the SBA microloan program, right? Microloan, micro meaning very small. It offers up to $50,000 in capital that you can use to start or grow your business. You must pay back in 6 years, though, within 6 years. It's easier to process than a regular full SBA loan, and the rates will vary somewhere between 8 and 13%. You apply through SBA micro loan intermediaries. I'm going to give you those names of the intermediaries that you can use. Actually, I'm going to give them to you now before it's sba.gov/site/diff. It's a long, and I'm going to give it to you now so you can actually go there. But this could be a good financing option for you if you don't need to borrow a lot of money. $50,000 is a lot, but some people need more. And if you can pay it back, your business is going to start making money within 6 years, so you can pay it back within 6 years. Could be a good option for you. And the rates are also likely to be more competitive than with a traditional financial institution because it's being guaranteed by the government. And of course, if the interest rate is lower, that's more money back in your pocket. You cannot use this particular loan program. That's the SBA microloan program. You cannot use this loan program to buy real estate or to pay down existing debt. Keep that in mind. Okay. The place to go. Yeah, is it on there, Alex? Okay, the place to go is exactly that. SBA.gov, blah, 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 blah. It's a long, but click on that, and that gives you access to all the lenders, all the participants where you can get this loan. Please use it. If you want to start a business, go there. Apply. The second type of SBA loan is a very, very popular one. It's called SBA 7A loan. SBA 7A as an apple loans. It's very popular. It could be used for a variety of purposes: new construction, expansions, renovation, purchase land, buildings, equipment, fixtures. Unlike the last one I told you about, which is the micro loan, you can actually use this one for real estate, right? The maximum loan amount is $5 million. Most 7A loans offer about a 10-year repayment program, right? Repayment period, like 10 years, unless it's for equipment, long-term equipment, like real estate. Remember, you can buy real estate with it, and that's for 25 years. And again, this is for like renovation of real estate. The PPP, for many of you small business owners, the PPP falls under 7A program. Remember? So now you know. Okay, so number 3 is what you call SBA Express loans. Now, this one I think is the most popular of all the business loans because it's a faster turnaround. SBA loans could be, paper heavy. They want all these documents, financial statements, history, work this, This one is a quicker turnaround, gives you up to $350,000, and you can get a loan, or sometimes you can get a line of credit. The loans may be used for the exact same purpose as 7A, right? The 7A loans, which means, you use for construction, you use for working capital, equipment, fixtures, all those things. And the loan repayment term is the same. It's between 10 and 25 years, depending on whether it's working capital and stuff like that, or real estate and equipment. Number 4, SBA loans, right? I told you these were great. There's something in here for everyone. SBA 504 loans. 504 loans. I remember growing up in Lagos, we had this car. It was called the Peugeot 504. I don't think they make it anymore. That car was the most that we loved. That car. It's called the 504. I don't think is Peugeot still in business now? I wonder. Anyway, SBA 504 loans. These are long-term fixed rate financing that's used to acquire fixed assets like real estate and like an expansion or modernization of a factory. So this is specifically, the former were to renovate. This one is specifically for buying real estate or like expanding like a factory or things like that. The loan is made through a partnership with a nonprofit certified development company. It's called a CDC, and private, not CDC healthcare. Not the Center for Disease Prevention, but this one is CDC, Certified Development Company. They're in partnership with the government. That's the person that you go to, right? And I'll give you the names of CDCs and places you can go. The typical structure works like this, right? The CDC provides 40% of the total project cost, and the SBA guarantees that number, 40%. Then that particular lender, the CDC, the lender himself or herself, covers up to 50% of the project cost. And then you, the borrower, only have to put in 10 to 20%. Imagine that. You want to buy real estate for your business. The government will pay for the real estate through a loan. 40% they'll give you. Easy. I mean, it's not easy, but as long as you qualify, you'll get it. The lender will give you up to 50%. All you got to do is put down 10 to 20%. So if you want to run a business and your business requires you to use lots of real estate, and you decide, instead of renting, I'm going to buy my own, this is the way. SBA 504 loan. Now, there's certain things you should be aware of, right? And some of those things involve you got to have at least 50. You got to use at least 51% of the real estate. You can't just get a real estate, buy real estate, and then rent the whole thing out. You have to use at least. It has to be owner occupied at least 51%. Let's see what else. There's no total maximum for the loan. Well, I'm sorry, up to $5 million, right? It's up to $5 million. The total loan itself is not limited. It's not unlimited. It's not limited because the lender might decide to give you a lot more than the $5 million separate on their own. But the SBA's loan themselves so SBA limits. It's called a debenture. It's a loan to $5 million. The lender can give you 25. It's just the SBA only guarantees 5, right? And so the repayment period is somewhere between 10 and 25 years, depending, of course, again, if it's, working capital and, improvements to the factory, or it's buying real estate. Number 5, SBA disaster loans. These are loans to help businesses recover from economic damage in disaster areas. Hurricanes, remember, earthquakes. We're in Southern California. We know about that. Tornadoes, mudslides, fires. If you've been exposed to any of those, it could be used to repair or replace your business property, including real estate. Yes, inventory. Yes, supplies, machinery, and equipment. The terms. The maximum loan is generally up to about $2 million. The maximum term is about 30 years. The loans are available to small businesses, including also nonprofits and agricultural businesses. The loans may apply for the businesses may apply for these loans, again, SBA.gov. Now, remember that with 7A that I told you about earlier, particularly with PPP under 7A, you actually went through a lender. With this particular one, you have to go to SBA.gov. Remember this thing called Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL? The one that came out during the pandemic? Well, it's been around for a while. And it's one that provides specifically working capital, like paying your employees, paying your rent, buying, paying health insurance for your employees. Is to help small businesses and nonprofits meet their financial obligations that they can't meet because of a natural disaster like COVID, right? That was a natural disaster. And remember the CARES Act, which was one that was passed during COVID? It added, I think, EIDL grant of up to like $10,000 or $1,000 per employee, an advance. So the CARES Act said, look, we won't just give you a loan, we'll also give you an advance. Right when you apply, you get 10 grand. Hallelujah, free money. And it is free. You know why? That $10,000 from the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, EIDL, under the CARES Act is forgivable. It's forgivable. The loans are not forgivable, but the $10,000 advance is forgivable. I'm not done. I got 3 more under SBA, but let's see what's going on with my friends on YouTube. Hey, guys. Kimberly, I see you. Team Libra. Hey, I'm here too. Yes. Everybody's carrying on the conversation around here without me on YouTube. I got to join in. Alex, what are we going to say? Hey, wow, there's a lot of conversations going on here. Okay. Anyway, Kimberly, what's going on? Yes, so you remember me? It's hard to. Okay. So, number 6, SBA International Trade Loans. Yes. It's designated for small businesses. US, you have to be domiciled here. For small U.S. businesses engaged in international trade, as well as those that have been hurt by competition from imports. So you've been hurt. Let's say, for example, you make T-shirts, and all those imports for China are driving you out of business. You go to the SBA International Trade Loan Program. It could be used to expand an existing export market, develop a new export market, or if you demonstrate that your business has been hurt by an export, but because of competition from exports, you can also get a loan. Maximum loan amount, $5 million. Repayment terms, just like 7A, 10 to 25 years. These are real, my friends. These are real. This is real money that people are applying for, and that you should be applying for too, if you qualify. Number 7, under SBA, export working capital loans. If you're an exporter, the government will give you short-term working capital loan. It may be used for a variety of purposes. Purchase inventory for export, manufacture items for export, working capital directly related to export activities, or even refinancing existing debt is great. They'll give you up to $5 million for up to 3 years. The shorter the term, the lower the SBA guarantee, the lower the SBA guarantee fee. So, number 8, SBA Export Express loans. Now, these loans are smaller, but they're faster. It could be used for virtually anything that'll help your small business enter or grow into an export market. It doesn't have to be working capital. It doesn't have to be inventory. It's designed to be more streamlined with reduced documentation requirements. It's very, very straightforward, very easy. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but it's a lot easier than going for the working capital loan, because it only gives you up to $500,000, not $5 million, and you get 7 years to pay it back, not 3 years, if you get a line of credit. So there's one more that I, include, but it's it's a kind of a new pilot program under the SBA. It's called Community Advantage, and the program offers loans through mission-oriented lenders. What's a mission-oriented lender? That's usually a nonprofit financial intermediary that's focused on economic development, like poor, underserved, underdeveloped areas. Those lenders that are in that place that are focused on that. There's a focus on business owners. So it's those business owners in those underserved areas that the loan is applicable for. Up to $250,000. If you're in an underserved area, your community is underserved or underrepresented, you could qualify for a loan of up to $250,000. I spent a lot of time in Arkansas, because that's where we're starting the Suchi effort to educate 3 million underserved children and 94 million in general people without student debt. That's where we started the mission, and it's going really well. But a lot of the places I go to, the schools I go, we had one yesterday, by the way. We had another outreach on the Air Force Base of Lighthouse Academy in Little Rock yesterday. It was a great event. I wasn't able to attend, but my people were there. They were there. Emma Willis was there. Brandy Moran was there. I had Wendell Scales was there. A lot of great people were there and helping to. And I had 200 people showed up. So we're doing this almost every weekend, educating kids. But some of those areas are underserved. If you live in those parts of Arkansas, those parts of California, those parts of Texas, those underserved areas, you want to set up a business, you could get up to $250,000. It's called the Community Advantage. They'll give you up to 10 years to pay back for working capital if you want to use that for work like inventory and things like that, or to run the business. 10 to 25-year repayment period for equipment and 25 years for real estate. They give you a long time to pay this money back. It's a pilot program, and it's 8 programs under the SBA. I consider this to be number 9. So SBA loan is no joke, though. This is the government. You know how government stuff is. I work in the 529 space, and it's the college funding space. And a lot of that comes through the government, right? The government processes are very slow sometimes, and it involves a lot of paperwork. So there's certain requirements for applying for an SBA loan. First of all, you have to own a small business, right? And if you go to sba.gov/size-standards, we're going to put it on there. You can decide. It can help you decide if you qualify for an SBA loan. Just that easy. You can know. Go. Click on it. We're going to give it to you now. To qualify for an SBA loan, you have to operate a for-profit business, and it has to be located in the U.S. Even if you're exporting or importing, your business has to be located. It has to be domiciled here. You got to have good credit. Remember, one of the first topics I talked about in the foundation was good credit. So if you don't have good credit, go back. I think it was lesson number, Alex, what was it, lesson number 2 or number 3? We had credit. We had a whole lecture on how to improve your credit, how to lift your credit up. Go listen back to that lecture. I think it was number 2 or number 3 in season number 2. It was number 2. Alex said it was number 2. Alex always knows. Alex, you want to show a face? You want to come over here, say hello? He doesn't want to share. He's shy. He doesn't want to say hello. Alex handles the camera. He does all the, equipment. I got 3 computers. I got 4 computers, 2 phones, a bunch of lights and equipment over here. So Alex does all of that, but he's shy. He doesn't want to come on camera. Anyway, I used to be shy before. I didn't like being on camera until, it's a long story. We'll talk about this some other time. So you need to demonstrate a need for credit. You need to demonstrate that you have a need to get an SBA loan. You can't just go get cash because it's there. No. Why do you need the money? And you have to show that you can pay it back. So you got to show them a business plan. It requires some work. Don't be scared of the work or the paperwork required. It's a part of the process. We go through life. What do you also, if everything in life is easy, everybody would be doing it. To get to the 1%, to rise above where you are, to make a little bit more money, to be happier, to change your job, to be in a place that you're satisfied economically, you have to do things that not everyone does. And that involves doing the necessary amount of work to fill out the scary amount of paperwork the SBA gives you before you get a loan. The list of the top SBA lenders, I'm going to put it up there, Alex. It's www.sba.gov. It's long. This is the list of the top SBA lenders, right? Call them, email them, apply through one of these people. There's loans available. So I have a few more options, but how you guys doing? Are we doing good, or should I stop? Are you guys tired of this now, or? Okay, so there's more. I'm going to keep going. Another 10, 15 minutes. I haven't gotten to the great part about getting free. There's free money available for you, just so you know, to start your business with grants. I'm going to get to that in a second. But the second way, the fourth way. So the first way is you can use savings, then you can use a credit card. You can use friends and family. You can use you can use SBA loans. You can also use angel investors. Angel investors are very popular in the venture capital space, right? They help you finance your business without borrowing. Getting funding is so if you're a startup, like a technology startup or some other startup, typically where you go first is you go to angel investors, because they're individuals or corporations who are available to give you cash, right? And the only thing is the trade-off is they take a piece of your business, equity in your business, and so you now have a co-owner, which may not be a bad thing, because that co-owner may have experience with businesses and may be able to guide you and help you and give you pointers and tips so your business doesn't fail. Crowdfunding, that's another option to raise money from a group of individuals. There are crowdfunding platforms all over. I mean, we at Suchi, we're going to be doing crowdfunding, not today, but in the next month and a half. We're going to be helping you to crowdfunding specifically for college, where your friends and family can gift. Instead of giving all those wasteful toys that depreciate in value, why not give a kid an asset that appreciates in value in the form of money into a kid's college plan during their birthday? That's a better gift than giving them a toy that they're going to break tomorrow. But I digress, because there are tons of crowdfunding options available. They cater to startups that are getting off the ground, and more general crowdfunding platforms you can use are available to tap for working capital. Here's a list of crowdfunding platforms. I'm going to give it to you. GoDaddy.com/garage/ we'll put it up there. To do so, though, you need to create a proposal. You need to have a sort of a proposal that details how you're going to use the money. Investors will look at the proposal and they'll decide whether or not they want to make an investment in your business. It's as simple as that. There's examples of proposals if you go to the link I gave you. Some crowdfunding platforms are rewards-based, meaning that instead of paying the money back to investors, you actually give them a reward instead. For example, if your business is in the business of making a new smartwatch, you could offer a prototype to your biggest backers. You don't have to pay them back. You just give them a prototype. Other crowdfunding platforms are like peer-to-peer lenders, which means the working capital is raised from the crowd, but it must be repaid back, like an investor, with 5%, 8%, whatever the interest is, like a loan. When considering crowdfunding as a small business finance option, be sure to read the fine print and compare the fees carefully, because these things could be expensive. Study what makes a successful crowdfunding campaign to boost your chances of having your proposal fully funded. I'm not done. There's more ways for you to get credit, for you to get money for your business, to finance your business. Business loans and lines of credit. So if you don't qualify for SBA, or you don't want to use SBA, or that paperwork is overwhelming, you can actually just go get short-term or long-term financing. You get development loans, you get equipment financing. There's micro loans. There's a lot of different places you can get financing. Traditional financing through banks also fall on this category. You can get this things called business development companies that you could look into, and there's lines of credit. Factoring, that's another way for you to raise money. And factoring simply means you're getting a cash advance on your assets. such as money you're expecting, accounts receivables, or inventory, money you're holding. That's simply it. It could be very expensive, right? So be careful, right? I mean, think about when you go to the bank and you get out cash versus when you use your ATM to get out cash that's in there, or when you use your credit card to get a cash advance. It's kind of the same thing, right? The factoring is like using your credit card to get cash. It's astronomically expensive, but if that's what you need, then that's what you need. And as long as you pay it back, you'll be good. Finally, the most interesting part, I think, of this entire conversation is small business grants. There's tons of grants available for you. Tons of grants. Everybody who's listening here qualifies. Everybody. Now, whether you get it or not depends on you. Everyone who's listening today, let's see who's listening. Let's see who's watching. Henry, you qualify. Yvonne, you too, you qualify. Kimberly, you qualify. Everybody qualifies for a grant. You just have to find the grant and you have to apply for the grant. That's if you want to start a business. Everybody qualifies. Almost everybody, maybe 95%. Let me show you the type of grants that are available. There's the big kahuna called the government grants. 3 types of government grants: general government grants, contract assistance grants, natural resources, and surplus property grants. 3 types of grants under the government. I'm going to talk about them in a second. Then you have business grants that are just general business grants. Then you have industry-specific grants. Then you have the U.S. Chamber of Commerce that gives grants. There are so many grants available. Let me recap. First, the government grants. There's 3 types. Second are general business grants. You can get those. Third, they're not general, but the industry-specific business grants. Number 4, U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Let's jump in. General, I get excited when I talk about free money. I love free money. I'm serious. I love passive income. I love sleep money. You should too. That's the kind. Let me put it this way. You work, what, 8 hours a day, 9 to 5, and you make money. How about the other 16 hours? You just waste it? You spend time with your family? That's good. Spend time with your friends? That's good. You sleep? That's good. Are you making money while you sleep? Are you making money when you spend time with your family? That's passive income. That's sleep money. I like free, and I like free, and I like passive. I like money that I don't have to work for. Grants are money you don't have to work for. You got to work in the future, but you don't have to pay the money back. It's free money. So the best place to go is grants.gov. That's where to start searching for grants. There are thousands of grants to apply for. Thousands, literally thousands. The opportunities are endless for people and companies with all sorts of backgrounds. Not all assistance flows through directly from the federal government, though. Some of that comes to local governments, state governments, nonprofit organizations, colleges. There's lots of grants available for small businesses. These entities, in turn, they take the money and they distribute it. And they also provide technical, this is beautiful, and educational assistance. Not just do they give you money, they also provide technical and educational assistance for you. Be sure to check your state and local government resources, though, because sometimes those grants are there. They're not with the federal government. Be aware also that you may qualify for more than one grant. You may qualify for 2 or 3 or 4. You may qualify for hundreds of thousands of dollars of grants to start your business. I bet you do, but you won't find out unless you go look. Let me give you 3 examples. U.S. Department of Commerce, Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA. Have you heard of it? MBDA is from the U.S. Department of Commerce. It's called Minority Business Development Agency, mbda.gov. That's the website. It's targeted for grants and loans designed to aid minority-owned businesses. It's offered through the year. Minority-owned businesses can find this information, mbda.gov. Are you a minority? Do you have a business? Go apply. It's free money that you can use to help yourself and your family. Number 2, U.S. Economic Development Administration has a program, right? It's part of the U.S. Commerce Department, and it gives ongoing funding for projects that support regional and national economic development in construction, non-construction, planning, technical assistance, R&D, higher education. All you need to do is make sure you're in a community that you're building a project, you're developing a project that's going to help economic expansion. There's a third, small business innovation grants. This grant is for small businesses so they can participate in federal research. The government always does research. You can make money while helping the government with its research that could one day become commercialized. Accepting money from the government, though, requires a lot of paperwork. Remember the SBA, what I said? Applying for a grant could be time-consuming and very technical. You want to make sure, therefore, that you're eligible before you apply. So go check it out. I've given you all the websites. I'm going to give you more by the end of this program. In addition to the legal and administrative requirements, there are ongoing reporting requirements and auditing. So you're not just going to get the money and, disappear. They want to know what's going on. You got to keep reporting your progress. They're going to audit you if they feel like, there's fraud. So anyway, that's general business. That's, I told you government government grants has 3 different ones, the federal government grants. Well, that's the first one, general. The second one is actually pretty interesting. It's the government contract assistance grants. Let me tell you something. The federal government spends billions of dollars on goods and services every year. You know that. The government has a budget of, almost $4 trillion. Actually, at COVID, it's like 10 trillion is what the government spends. This is not our GDP, but just what the government's portion of the GDP is. It's about $4 trillion. They spend a lot of money. A lot of that money is spent through what you call a competitive bidding process. You got to bid. There are programs in place to assist small businesses with the process, allowing small businesses a better chance to compete for those dollars. Let me give you an example. One is called WOSB, Women-Owned Small Businesses Federal Contracting Program. Let me repeat. Women-Owned Small Businesses Federal Contracting Program. The federal government the federal government wants to award at least 5% of federal contracting dollars to women-owned small businesses. Did you know that? Annually. If the government is spending all this money and they want to give you a woman-owned business at least 5% of $4 trillion, go take it and use it for yourself. Use it to grow your business. If you're a woman and you're listening to me and you want to start a small business, or you already have a small business and you're struggling, the federal government will give you contracts. Go take yours. They'll help you finance it too. Through this program, the government provides support to women entrepreneurs by offering business training, counseling, federal contracts, and access to credit and capital. They give you the contract and they give you the money to operate the business. Go take it. Go work for it. Go apply so you can work to lift yourself and your family out of wherever you are or wherever you want to go. The goal is to offer equal opportunity for all women in business. There's another one, another part of this contract assistance program. It's called the 8A Business Development, like number 8, Apple, 8A Business Development Program. The purpose of this program is to assist small businesses owned by socially and economically disadvantaged entities. So if you have an entity that's socially and economically disadvantaged, there's money for you. It limits competition for certain government contracts because they want to give it to you. If you are in a disadvantaged area, you're a disadvantaged race or nationality or ethnicity, or you live in a disadvantaged area, you're underserved or you're underrepresented, Blacks, Hispanic, Native American, women, the government limits competition and says only this category of people can apply. Have you applied for your own? Now, you got to be certified as an 8A business, but you can go do it. There's another government program that's almost magical. Have you heard about the Natural Resource and Surplus Property Sales Assistance Program? It's not a pretty name. Forget about the name. Let's just call it Natural Resource and Surplus. Let's just call it Natural Resource and Surplus Property. In addition to the billions of dollars spent purchasing goods and services that I told you the government spends, the government also sells large amounts of natural resources and surplus property. What surplus property? That's property the government doesn't want again. Government has property it doesn't want. So the first thing it does, and that includes real estate, it includes office equipment, it includes a lot of things. They just don't want it. If this property can't be donated to a state or public agency or nonprofit, the general public can buy it. Anyone can buy property, government property at an auction or otherwise. This includes natural resources like timber related and forest products, strategic materials, royalty oil, leases, right? Involving rights to minerals, coal, oil, and gas. It also involves this thing called surplus real estate and personal property. What does this mean? There's lots of office equipment. If you're looking for office equipment for your office, there's office equipment and furniture included in what the government surplus property. Scientific equipment, heavy machinery, airplanes. You want to own an airplane? You want a plane? You can get it this way. Land and sea vehicles, boats and vehicles. There's cars in this program. This program sets aside a percentage of these goods for bidding by small businesses only. Hallelujah. The federal government said there's all this property, including real estate, that we don't want. The state doesn't want it. So we're going to give it to you. We're going to sell it to you for very cheap. And the bidding is going to be limited to you, small businesses. So if you need land for your small businesses, you need real estate for your small businesses, you need equipment for your small businesses, this is the program for you. It's an ugly name, Natural Resources and Surplus Property Sales Assistance Program. It's a nasty, long-ass name, but it's a great program. In addition, the federal agencies, sometimes they'll divide the surplus materials or the property into different parcels, right? Chop it up into 4 different parts. And then this is for small businesses. How many people do you think are applying for these things? Many people don't even know that there's cheap real estate. There's cheap property. There's cheap office equipment. There's cheap land that has minerals and has oil and has copper, that has natural, you can buy it. If you're interested, if that's your field and you want to set up your business, you've been working as a landman guy for a long time, you've been working in property management for a long time, you want to buy your own real estate, this is the way. We're not done yet. We're almost done though. I told you this was a lot. I told you I had a lot for you today. And I told you virtually everybody who's listening to me qualifies for at least one of these grants. And if you do plan to start a real small business, don't just go take the money though. You can't take, this is the government. You can't just take the money and spend it. That's fraud. We don't do fraud. We do legitimate businesses. We're starting or have already started or intend to start soon. These are all the ways you can fund your business. But anyway, what's going on over there? Hi, CC. Hi, Caldwell. C. Caldwell. How are you? Yeah, I'm preaching. Hey, it's day of Pentecost. You know, I'm preaching. I'm preaching. I'm gonna keep preaching. So let me keep going because these are really good things, right, for you to learn if you want to start a small business. So there's also a lot of businesses, right? General small business grants. Let me give you 2. KKR, which is an amazing private equity company, teamed up with Hello Alice, and they're giving up to $10,000 for recovery assistance. They're just giving you $10,000. Hello. I mean, you got to qualify. Got to recover from COVID-19. But if your business, your hairstylist, your barber, your nail salons, your home health agent, if you've been affected, home health agencies or anyone, if you've been affected by COVID-19, go get you, it's up to $10,000. It's the KKR grant. Better yet, even better than the money, or just as important, they give you technical expertise. They actually teach you, they mentor you, they coach you It's amazing. It's a network of resources available online. There's another one, NAV, N-A-V, NAV Small Business Grant. NAV is a loan and credit card matching service. They match you up with loans and credit cards. They recently opened up in 2021 a round of grants to small businesses to take you to the next level. The grant prize, $10,000 grant. It's available. Any small business. The runner-up, the second gets $5,000. But guess what? Today's the 23rd. The application closes on the 31st. You got 7 days. Actually, you got 8 days. Go apply. 8 days. You can do it. It's $10,000. What else are you doing at home on a Sunday evening? I'm just kidding. I know you're busy, but go apply. There are also some very specific industry grants, right? I already talked about the general. There's some very specific industry grants. These grants are available for a specific industry or certain demographic or certain business profile. They're not general like the last two I just told you. For example, the Amber Grant Foundation. This supports, it's been supporting women since 1998. It was founded by the Women's Net. And it awards, again, $10,000 grant every month. Hallelujah. Every month it grants to $10,000 plus $25,000 every December to one, actually, I think it's more than one, to women who have a compelling story. That's not all. Amber Grant is one specific. There's also one called the Black Founder Startup Grant. Black Founder Startup Grant. This program is from SoCal, the SoCal Foundation, and if you're the sponsors, and they give up to $10,000 to Black and multiracial women and entrepreneurs. The program accepts applications on a rolling basis, so it's open. Any business with any Black or women-owned business or multiracial with a legally registered business in the U.S. who plans to seek investor financing to scale can apply. Hallelujah. Go apply. And finally, the last one I'm going to tell you about, I know I've taken up a lot of your time today, but I hope it was worth it. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce has a bunch of different initiatives, right? The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, I'm sure you recognize, is dedicated to helping small businesses through a variety of programs, including grants and small business awards. The other day, I was actually with the chairman of the president of the Greater Bentonville Area Chamber of Commerce. We had a sit down he was interviewing me for a tech. They had a tech summit down there, the Bentonville Tech Summit, and I was invited, and so it was a very interesting back and forth. And I learned a lot, and I hope the people listening also learned a lot. But the Chamber of Commerce is out there to help you, right? I'm going to give you 2 awards. There's one called Save Small Business Initiative. It was launched in the wake of COVID-19 to provide guidance and financial assistance to people who have been affected by COVID-19. There's another one called Dream Big Award. It gives you up to $20,000 in cash to the small business of the year. They pick one winner. The application ends in July, though, July 16th. So please go apply if you haven't already applied. You can apply as a small business, or you could be referred by your local Chamber of Commerce. So I want to stop there. I've covered a lot. I've told you of a lot of different things. So let me talk about what we're going to talk about next week. But before I do that, let's see what my people are saying. Hey, T. T said, I just have my DBA. I don't have my LLC. So many discourage me from getting my LLC, but I know I need to get it, but I don't know where to start or where to apply. Well, T, I talked last Sunday, about the ABCs of starting a small business. Please go back. Today's the 23rd, and that was the 16th. I talked about why you would incorporate, why you should or shouldn't incorporate. I talk about the advantages and disadvantages of limited liability. I showed you the places, I like to incorporate. And so please go back to that lesson. LLCs and generally businesses, incorporated businesses are good, primarily for limited liability to separate you. So if the business, gets hurt, runs into trouble or gets sued, you don't have to bear that brunt, of the business liabilities. That's the primary reason. So there are a lot of additional resources I'm going to give to you. It's going to be on my Instagram. I have a tab up there, David.Adefeso. I'm also going to put it on my davidadefeso.com website when it's up and running this week. But let me give you 3. I promised I was going to give you, let me give you 3 resources. The first is for minority businesses. If you're a minority, you're Black, you're Hispanic, you're Native American, Southeast Asian, if you're a minority, there's multiple grants and sources of low-cost loans to help minority-owned businesses. Here's where you want to go. First, it's the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. It's a long name, but I give you the specific. I don't just give you uschamberofcommerce.com. No, I give you the specific link, and it's up there. Second, I'm going to give to you is for funding options for women-owned businesses. It includes 10 programs and agencies and organizations that are helping women entrepreneurs to be better represented in the ranks of American business owners. It's also the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And here it is. The specific link is up there. The final, actually, I'm going to give you 2 more because I like you so much, is Small Business Development Centers, BDCs. BDCs are great because their job is to help your business, a small business. They're specifically set up for that. You can help businesses of all kinds locate additional funding opportunities at the national and local level. SBA.gov, but you don't just need to go to SBA.gov because sometimes it's a little maze. I'm going to give you the specific link. You click on this link, it'll take you right there to BDCs. So we started 2 weeks ago, we're talking about starting a business and the types of businesses that are good to start during a pandemic where you can work from home. Last week, I talked about the ABCs, incorporating or not incorporating, hiring employees. Today, I talked about financing a business. Next week, I'm going to take Q&A, question and answer. I always get my ideas for the next phase, the next 3 weeks for my question and answer. So please make sure your questions are great. They don't have to be, deep analytical questions. It could be the simplest questions, but make sure there's problems you're going through or other people have gone through. And guess what? You can actually tape it. Take your phone, ask your question, and then send it to daveswealthlessons@gmail.com. I'd love to put you on camera. I could play the tape. If you want to be on camera, I could put you on camera. Maybe I'll do that for a couple of people. Tape yourself, send it to daveswealthlessons@gmail.com, and I'll put you on camera. If you're camera shy, type a question. I'll answer all your questions next week, and I look forward to it now. One more thing. Like you can tell, we're advancing. I've given you the basics. Credit, emergency fund. I've helped you think about getting out of debt. I've helped you on how to set up and finance a small business. And I'm going to keep going. I hope you have joined the last 11. If you haven't, please go back. Like with any progression, if you skip the foundation, you're going to have trouble later on. So please go back and watch all the other ones. And tell your friends and family, tell your kids, tell your parents, tell your uncles and sisters. There's someone out here that's teaching them some really good stuff to be better, happier, economically happier person. Love you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.